I'm going to pray at this time. Mama goes down the Father of us all above. We are grateful for this good day. Mama goes down if WAN and Ode Manabs that win. Creator, you bring us good health and good life. Majok Mashik, you even know with Dokoyak, help us as we gather today. Kiwamayak etso nango toigo. Watch over each and every one of us. Mine noje wenwe jayak yebwat, and bless all of those who have come today. You, amen. Please be seated. Jamie. Did you have an introduction page? Do I? That had everyone's names on it? Okay. Oh, wrong folder. Thank you. We are recalled to order as the General Council meeting of June the 25th, 2022. Let the record show it is 3 p.m. We convened for voting at 7 a.m. this morning. Meeting has been called to order and a prayer. And on behalf of myself and the other members of the tribal legislative, executive, and legislative body, I welcome all of you. This is a great crowd. Certainly a different sort of appearance for this place as it has been in the past. As those of you who may know, we have a professional basketball team, and we made the playoffs this year, but we didn't get to the finals. But next year we will, and the team is doing quite well. This is our new basketball court. I did not get to see the 3-on-3 basketball. I hope it went well. Were there some winners today? Any show of hands? Okay, they won and left. Loaded up the money. I'd like first to make the introductions of the you know what would be, well, no, I won't do that. I'd like to introduce District 1 Legislator Alan Milo. District 2 Legislator Eva Marie Carney is ill and can't make it. District 3 is Robert Whistler. District 4 is John Bursaw. District 5 is Jean Lambert. District 6 is Randy Payne. District 7 is Mark Johnson. District 8 is Dave Carney. District 9 is Paul Wesselhoff. District 10 is David Barrett. District 11 is Andy Walters. District 12 is Paul Schmidlkoffer. And District 13 is Bobby Bowden. And I'd also, in addition to introductions here, I'd like to express my gratitude for the incredible competence and capabilities and just absolute organizational fervor, I would say, of Secretary Treasurer Dwayne Trousdale. And most of all, Vice Chairman Linda Capps. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce today our Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Dr. Angela Riley. Chief District Judge Phil Lujan. And is Judge Wiley here? No. District Judge Robert Tim Coulter. Are you here today, Tim? Robert Coffey, Judge Robert Coffey. Judge Lamarand, Jennifer Lamarand, and Judge Jane Braw. And Judge Nick Jones, and Judge Roy Tucker. Okay, they're not with us to hear, but those are the Supreme Court justices. Prosecutor Kelly Harris, are you here? Keith Kelly. Lisa Otepovi is the assistant. Court Clerk Andrea Gamble. And Sherry Clymer. And Jeanette Lingenhager. And two gentlemen who've done yeoman's duty in the last year. We've had a tremendous amount of business, what with the CARES money and with the ARPA funds and with all of the other activities that's been going on. Tribal Attorney Greg Quinlan and Tribal Attorney George Wright and Legal Assistant Junia Clymer. And I want to thank them for all of the work that's been done in getting us through this I think unprecedented year of legal what's the best word? Intrigue. The federal agencies that we have done business with this year are all handling new business that they're not accustomed to handling, and we're trying to make sense of what they have not made sense of. So it's been a very, very interesting year. This is our first year to have made a per capita payment from the ARPA funds since 1964, I believe, or 68 is our first time that we've done a per capita payment, and that was all federal funds. I'm not going to go down and introduce all of our CPN directors and staff because it's quite a lengthy page, but could all of you please stand? Please. Thank you. I think we have as professional and capable a staff as any tribe in the United States, and I appreciate all of your efforts. Thank you for your time and your hard work. Let me get out the general counsel minutes. If we could, right now, I'd like to have Secretary Treasurer Trousdale read the minutes of the previous meeting of the general counsel. I have one right here. Got it?
The minutes of the General Council meeting, June 26, 2021. Chairman Barrett called the meeting to order at 7 a.m. Roll call included Chairman Barrett, Vice Chairman Capps, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale, Representatives Barrett, Bursaw, Bowden, Eva Marie Carney, Johnson, Jean Lambert, Payne, Schmidlkoffer, Walters, Wesselhoff, and Whistler. Absent was Dave Carney. Motion made by Representative Schmidlkoffer and seconded by Representative Johnson to recess and turn the meeting over to the Election Committee for purposes of balloting. Motion passed 14 in favor, 1 absent. Meeting reconvened at 3:05 p.m. with Chairman Barrett calling the General Council to order, followed by a prayer. Chairman Barrett and the rest of the tribal legislature began the meeting by honoring and acknowledging Julia Slavin, wife of the late tribal legislator Roy Slavin, for their tireless work on behalf of the nation. He then introduced members of the tribal legislature, the tribal Supreme Court justices, the tribal district court judges, members of the tribal attorney's office, followed by the introduction of the candidates for tribal office. Chairman Barrett asked Secretary Treasurer Trousdale to read the minutes from the previous meeting of the General Council held on June 7th, 2020, into the record. Motion to approve the minutes as read was made by Bob Whistler, seconded by Randy Schlockton. Motion passed unanimously. Chairman Barrett introduced Ryan Kane as president of CEO of First National Bank and Trust Company. Mr. Kane began his remarks with a quote from Proverbs chapter 29, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." He further stated that in 1989, a little bank located in a trailer was purchased with a vision. The First National Bank is still looking to what can be for their future. Although COVID presented many challenges, it also represented many opportunities, and the bank remains prosperous with $313 million in assets to end the year 2020. The bank is also maintaining its aggressive acquisition outlook and is in the process of purchasing First State Bank of Oklahoma City. This will make First National Bank the largest tribally owned bank in the United States. He closed by remarking the future of First National Bank is bright, with the best days still ahead. Vice Chairman Capps thanked all the candidates for office for their hard work and dedicated efforts on behalf of the nation. She then spoke of the Potawatomi Leadership Program and the impact that the COVID pandemic had on the manner in which it was being conducted. While this year has twice as many participants, the program is being headed by the tribe's education department from a virtual platform. The tribe's intern program has 10 interns plus some interns at the tribal clinic this year. Vice Chairman Capps touched on a new scholarship that will soon be available for children or grandchildren of tribal veterans, thanks to the generosity of tribal member Michael Kennedy, who recently passed away. She gave a brief overview of the measures of the nation has undertaken to forestall the spread of COVID-19 virus and applauded the efforts and professionalism of the tribe's clinical, safety, police, and human resource staffs. The Vice Chairman concluded her remarks by saying she believes this will be a good year and looks forward to whatever next year might bring. The Chairman also spoke of the impact COVID had on the nation. He said the casinos have rebounded well from the forced shutdowns and feels this supports the decision made to keep employees on the payroll during the shutdown. He said this allowed the nation to retain the best and brightest on staff, which in turn allows the best efforts in return for tribal members. He then thanked the tribe's directors and staff for their efforts on behalf of the approximately 37,000 tribal members. Chairman Barrett discussed the tribe's intentions for the property it owns in the Choctaw area, specifically mentioning medical, grocery, and housing facilities. He also briefed the council on the progress at the industrial park, updates to the casino eateries, and a hope-for outdoor entertainment venue, the need of which has been highlighted by the COVID virus. The chairman also mentioned that the nation is waiting on financial guidance on the American Recovery Act funds to see how this funding might best benefit the nation and its members. The chairman entreated the members of the council to have faith in the tribal election process and study the tribal constitution to see if the safeguards in place to guarantee security and validity of the elections. Following tribal tradition, the wisest tribal member, the youngest tribal member, and the tribal member who traveled the furthest to attend General Council were honored. 94-year-old John Anderson was honored as the wisest tribal member, while 4-year-old Preston May Neely was the youngest tribal member in attendance. John Drew Bursall traveled from Topsham, Maine, for the honor of the tribal member who traveled the furthest to attend General Council. Secretary Treasurer Trousdale requested the indulgence of his elders as he presented a financial report of the nation for the year ending September 30th, 2020. He too thanked tribal employees for going above and beyond their efforts in the past year with all of the challenges it presented. He said in the past year, more has been asked of tribal employees than ever before, and they responded. REDW Auditors was engaged to perform an audit of the financial statements of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation for 2020. The original amount in the trust fund transferred from the Bureau of Indian Affairs to the nation in 1996 was $5,495,465. which this has now grown to $19,657,940 as of September 30th, 2020. This represents an increase of $1,540,000 from 2019. The trust investment is invested in 5 basic categories. $551,000 is held in cash, $3 million is held in cash equivalents, $1.99 million is in various fund accounts, and $2.9 million in U.S. Treasury and agency securities, and $11,179,000 is in First National Bank common stock. Hogan Taylor audited the financial statements of First National Bank and Trust Company as of December 31st, 2020. First National Bank had total assets of $313 million, net loans of $108 million, and stockholders' equity of $43 million. First National Bank is a taxable entity that, by paying these lease payments to the nation, manages to minimize its tax consequences each year. The Citizen Poly Community Development Corporation financials were also audited by REDW. The CDC continues to build on a strong net asset position, with assets growing to $28,128,000, with $20,764,000 in total liabilities, of which $20,690,000, or 99%, constitute debt capital acquired to leverage as capacity for provide financing to borrowers. As of September 30th, 2020, this leaves the CPCDC in a strong position to build on future growth. REDW also prepared a comprehensive financial report for the year ended September 30th, 2020. The nation's combined net assets were $320.6 million, which is a positive change of $12.5 million. The nation's expenses for governmental activities were $100.3 million and were funded by program revenues of $94.4 million, supplemented by other revenues totaling approximately $5.9 million. The nation's business revenues exceeded expenses by $11.7 million. The nation was awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Financial Officers Association of the United States and Canada for the 32nd year in a row. The nation's proprietary funds reported an increase of $4.8 million in fiscal year 2020. Secretary Treasurer concluded by thanking the council for allowing him to serve as their Secretary Treasurer for the past 19 years and stated he prays for the continued success of the nation, that I might continue to help those in need and safeguard tribal sovereignty. At 4:25 p.m., the chairman prefaced a recess of the council by thanking the members for allowing him to serve as their chairman since 1985, stating that it has been his life's work. 4:25 recess until the election results. 5 p.m. reconvened. Chairman Barrett introduced Gary Bourbonnais, chairman of the election committee. Mr. Bourbonnais announced the results of the balloting as follows. Set-aside budget was approved with 2,244 yeas, 324 nays. Justice Coffey was confirmed with 2,324 yeas, 299 nays. Justice Tucker was confirmed, 2,337 yeas, 307 nays. In District 1, John Drew Burso had 58 votes. Alan Milo received 101 votes. Kevin Roberts received 57 votes. David Slavin received 77 votes. District 2, Eva Marie Carney was elected unopposed. District 3, Robert Whistler was elected unopposed. District 4, John Burso, 213 votes. Alexa Dawson, 57 votes. In District 11, Andrew Walters was unopposed. Tribal Chairman John Barrett received 1,867 votes. Lisa Kraft, 869 votes. Steve Castaneda, 67 votes. There will be a runoff election held within 60 days for the District 1 seat between Alan Milo and David Slavin. Chief District Judge Lujan swore the winning candidates into the respective offices. Chairman Barrett thanked everyone who participated by voting and running for office. Those formal tribal officials in attendance at the meeting were recognized, including Mary Powell, Jean Bruno, Teresa Adame, Hilton Milo, and Bob Lewis. There being no further business before this council, a motion to adjourn was made by Randy Schlockton, seconded by Bob Lewis. Meeting adjourned at 5:35 p.m.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as read. Tell me your name. Is there, now heard a second? Second? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Is the meeting, the minutes are approved. At this time, I'd like to have a special presentation for a young woman who has been with us for well over a decade, who has been offered a great and wonderful opportunity, and we hate to lose her, but she will be going on to bigger and greater things. At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Kelly Mosteller to come up, if you would. Dr. Mosteller has been director of the Heritage Center for how many years? It's been 11 and a half years. She has been asked to be the director of the Indian Studies program. Is that correct? Harvard University Native American Programs at Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And we think that's an incredible accomplishment for Dr. Mosteller and a great reflection on us.
So this picture is a picture of the Heritage Center. It has a lot of significance for Kelly because it's after we re-entered when it was flooded. You remember the flood. And so there's also two feathers there that has significance for Kelly. And this says, "Thank you for your service to citizen Potawatomi Nation." And Kelly has done an outstanding job. And everybody in the tribe hates to see her go. And also, I want to say that there were several people that were involved with this. Danette and Jamie, our administrative assistants, helped us with this, and others did. So that portrait or that painting or a picture actually is very important, and it will be for years for Kelly. And then we have something that she has had her eye on at the Heritage Center, the gift shop, for a long time. And so we had little people sneaking around telling us some tales. And this is a belt for her regalia.
I did not get the opportunity to introduce the Gaming Commission, Jim Tom Anderson. Jim Tom, are you here? And of course, you met Dr. Kelly Mosteller. So we have a vacancy on the Gaming Commission that we'll need to fill. And Joe Miller, are you here? And Joe Miller. The Boxing Commission, of course, is Joey Miller and Aaron Capps and Jack Barrett. I know Jack's here. Oh, there we go. I have more paperwork here than I know what to do with, so. What are these? Yeah, may I have your stack of papers if it makes more sense than mine? Say again? Oh, I'd like to introduce Ms. Capps. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. At this time, I'd like to recognize Vice Chairman Linda Capps, and she's going to tell us about the new folks in our Potawatomi Leadership Program. Every year we have some folks that are freshmen in college or about to enter their freshman year or are sophomores in college who come in and live with us for a period of time and go through every program that in the tribe, and we are looking forward to them being leaders of the future. Ms. Capps, if you could introduce these folks, please.
Okay, the Potawatomi leadership members, will you stand when I call your name? Tasha Arens. She's from Woodbridge, Illinois. Sophia Carney. She's from Lacey, Washington. Catherine Charnocky. She's from Ithaca, New York. Melody Glover is from Phoenix, Arizona. David Hardy, Salinas, California. Anna Gruzinski, Boyd's, Maryland. Tristan Stites, New Bern, Tennessee. Jaden Tarter, Berkeley, California. Chloe Williams, Mansville, Texas. Liberty Wolf, Edmond, Oklahoma. And our counselor is Braden Brewer from Norman. And our advisor is Tasha Zenteg. Now, Tasha is the director of our education department. And she has been the advisor for some time now, since she took it over quite a few years ago. And our house mother is Margaret Zenteg. And so Margaret has been our house parent since inception. Once we moved the Citizen Potawatomi Nation PLP program to the nation, well, she's been our house parent. Now, we started this program out at St. Gregory's, and the students stayed at St. Gregory's. And that happened for 2 years. And then we redid the Sharp House, and that's where they stay. The Sharp House, if you've never been up to the Sharp property, is very, very nice. They have a swimming pool and plenty of bedrooms to accommodate the 10 students, and then whoever else is in the dorm, the house parent. And really and truly, sometimes we can accommodate more people than 10 students, but we try to hold it to 10 because it's better for traveling, and it's just better. It's a better fit. Now, we started this in 2003. I'm sorry, in 2003. And so next year will be 20 years. So next year, we are really planning something big. And I know that Tasha has some ideas and I have some ideas. And we're hoping that we can make it a really good reunion for the Potawatomi Leadership Program students. And a lot of the students are working for us now. So it's really good to get to be a PLP student because there's lots of possibilities there. I do have the art competition. We might as well go ahead and announce the art competition winners. And there is one that the vote of the people. And the winner of that is Penny Coates with Keepers of Our Land. Is Penny here? The third place winner is Connie Kennedy Heron with Blackbird in Winter. And she gets third place for $100. Is she here? Okay. Second place, it's a photo, painting, drawing, and that's the art competition. Is second place for Rachel Wynn for American Bison. Rachel? Rachel's not here. That's odd that they're usually here. Okay, in first place is Justin Watts, Woodpecker. Justin, please be here. And Justin's not here either? Okay. Now, that was photo, paintings, and drawings, and this is other competition. First place, third place is Carrie Stuckey for Jacko Set's Turtle. Is she here? Do I have a helper? Yeah, where's our photographer? Okay, he can go back there. Our second place winner is Danny Wood for Covered Wagon. Danny. Danny's from Seminole, Oklahoma. Actually, the first name that I've recognized except Penny Coates. And our first place winner is Dennis Buchanan with CPN Stained Glass. Thank you very much. I just want to say that I appreciate everyone coming out. I'd like to see the show of hands if you're from out of state. Yeah. I was thinking that we had more people from out of state than we had from Oklahoma, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I did last night when we were at Powwow Grounds at the Domino's, Checkers, and Chess. I did see a lot of people from different states. I saw people from Texas and our good friend James Anderson from New York. We hadn't seen James for a long time. And we just saw a lot of different people from all over. My grandsons were saying that they heard that people were from different states up north. And so I think that a lot of people came in that we thought may not come because of the heat and because of the price of fuel. That's really a deterrent for some of our families. So we're so glad that you were able to make it, and we're going to make the best of this heat. Tonight it's supposed to be worse than it has been, but tomorrow will be lovely. Thank you.
Danny Ward and the other gentleman to have their picture taken with you.
Oh, okay. We just didn't have anybody here. Where are they? Where are they?
There's Danny.
Danny's a longtime friend. First time to enter, and he got first.
It's my privilege at this time to introduce the president of First National Bank and Trust Company, Mr. Brian Kane.
Well, greetings to the great Citizen Potawatomi Nation from the Board of Directors, officers, and employees of First National Bank and Trust. Proverbs 29:18 states, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." The year was 1989. At the corner of MacArthur and Union and Shawnee stood a small mobile home with a humble sign that said First Oklahoma Bank. In that year, the Citizen Potawatomi Nation purchased that bank with a vision not of what it was at that time, but what it could be for their people. Today, we continue that vision. We don't just see the products that we have today, but what we can have in the future. Thus, we are working to create a complete digital platform for our customers, where you, as members, can do business with your bank anywhere in the world. We don't just see the locations that we have today or the total assets, but a vision of where we can be and the growth we can have in the future. We now have the capital to go and grow to $1 billion in total assets. $1 billion in total assets. We don't just see what we can do for the nation today, but a vision of what we can do for them in the future. We have added multiple employees in the area of tribal outreach to assist tribal members in financial education, business development, or to just simply answer financial questions. We are making a focused effort to earn your business. There's no doubt that the last few years have brought their share of challenges. Nonetheless, we have weathered the storm of COVID and the extremely difficult rate environment with lower than normal returns on security income. However, things remain strong at First National Bank and Trust. Our asset quality is good, and we continue to trend in a positive direction. A year ago, we were at $313 million in total assets. As of year-end 2021, we had grown to $718 million in total assets, thus a 128% growth rate year over year. Year-end 2020, our total loans were at $108 million. Year-end 2021, $494 million in total loans for a 354% growth rate. Total deposits, year-end 2020, were at $270 million. Year-end 21, $601 million for a 122% growth rate year over year. Our profit for year-end 2020 was $1.1 million. For year-end 2021, $3.4 million for a growth rate of 189%. However, in anticipation of a tighter economy due to the national inflation rate, prior to year-end, we took and placed $2 million of these retained earnings into loan loss reserve. Our goal as management of the bank is to always protect your investment. First National Bank and Trust capital stood at $42 million as of December 2020. At year-end 2021, our capital stood at $80 million for a growth rate of 87%. The majority of this new growth came from our purchase of the First State Bank in Oklahoma City in July of last year, although we are also growing in our other markets as well. This acquisition in the Oklahoma City metro gives us access to the largest market in the state. However, this acquisition would not be possible without the executive branch, the legislators, the CPN legal, and CPN accounting. So at this time, I would like to thank you. Thank you for your leadership and your support of this purchase. Thank you. The purchase of this $400 million bank makes your bank the largest tribally owned bank in the nation. What a tribute to the vision that you had in 1989. In closing, I would like to leave you with one thought. I think we would all agree that opportunity is a powerful thing. Opportunities, when given, have the ability to change someone's life, to mold a new future, and to influence people to greatness. Contemplate this thought for just a moment. First National Bank and Trust is your bank. Every time you do business with First National Bank and Trust, you increase not only your own power of opportunity, but also the power of opportunity for the next generation of this great nation. If you are not banking with us, we welcome your business. Consumer loans, mortgages, commercial loans, checking, savings, CDs, money markets, IRAs, safe deposit boxes, and wealth management. I encourage you to share the vision and become a customer of First National Bank and Trust today. The future is bright at First National Bank and Trust, and our best years are ahead of us. Thank you for this opportunity to serve you this last year. It has been an honor. May God continue to bless you and the citizen Potawatomi Nation. Thank you.
The election results are in, so if Mr. Gary Bourbonnais or who are the representative of the election board is here. Oh.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name's Julie Floyd. I am the marshal of the Citizen Potawatomi Election Committee. I come to give you the results of the 2022 election. I appreciate each and every one member that took the time to come in and vote. This is a significant time to vote for our visions of our nation, and I thank you. Today's election results, Vice President Ms. Capps, no opponent. Secretary Treasurer, no opponent. District 5, Jean Lambert, no opponent. District 6, Randy Payne, no opponent. District 7, Mark Johnson, votes 80. Browning Nadu, 56. District 8, David Carney, no opponent. Supreme Court judges, Andrea Riley, votes yes, 1,411, no, 68. Robert Tim Cawley, yeses, 1,382, noes, 91. Chief District Judge Philip Lujan, 1,384 yeses, noes, 93. Budget total yeses, 1,395, noes, 63. Thank you again for your votes, and we appreciate each and every one of you.
Chief Justice Riley or
please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Angela Riley,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation,
of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation,
and will administer justice in all cases coming before me with integrity and firmness and without regard to the person before me. So help me God. Congratulations.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Philip Lujan,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the citizen Potawatomi Nation
of the citizen Potawatomi Nation,
and will administer justice
and will administer justice
in all cases coming before me
in all cases coming before me
with integrity and fairness
with integrity and fairness
and without regard to the persons before me.
and without regard to the persons before me.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I'm going to let you swear in those others.
Yes, I think that's right, yeah. Unless you want me to just come up here.
I'm sorry.
Do you want me to come up here?
Yes, please. Mark. All of you.
Do you want me to do them one at a time?
You can do them all at one time, or you can do them one at a time. Which one do you prefer?
They're slightly different oaths for the executive versus the legislator, so maybe I'll do Linda and Dean separately
Okay.
and then do the others. So, Vice Chairman, could I? All right, please raise your right hand. I state your name,
Linda Katz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the citizen Potawatomi Nation,
of the citizen Potawatomi Nation,
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
carry out the duties
carry out the duties
of my office
of my office
and represent the interest of the Potawatomi people.
and represent the interest of the Potawatomi people.
These things I will do
These things I will do
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right. Hi there. I state your name,
I, Dwayne Trousdale,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the citizen Potawatomi Nation,
of the citizen Potawatomi Nation,
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
carry out the duties
carry out the duties
of my office and represent
of my office and represent
the interest of the Potawatomi people.
the interest of the Potawatomi people.
These things I will do
These things I will do
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. And this one I think we can do collectively. Is
Members of
is
the
that right,
legislature,
Andrew?
could, all four of you can
Okay.
come in.
Okay.
And I'll get your hand off.
So these we'll do collectively. All right. All right. Thank you all. Raise your right hand, please. I, and state your own name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the citizen Potawatomi Nation, and will exercise the constitutional authority and powers of the tribal legislature to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. Congratulations.
Justice Riley, would you like to speak?
No, not unless you want me to.
With whatever you'd like to do.
No, I'm good. I'll turn it back over to you, Charlie.
You may.
The chairman has on a beautiful medallion. You will see it today because it is absolutely gorgeous. And he was awarded by the Supreme Court of the state of Oklahoma that in recognition of his 37 years in the symposium that they put out. They put out a symposium every year by the state, federal court, and the OU. There's a lot of different people that involved in that. But the chairman has been highly recognized with that symposium every year, and he has done that for 37 years. And this year they recognized him. And that medallion that he received is beautiful. And so, Chairman, I want to congratulate you for that.
I was truly amazed when I received the prize because I've made the mistake a number of times of not checking to see whether there was a reporter in the room when I have expressed my opinions, particularly in the relationship between this governor's office of the state of Oklahoma and the Potawatomi tribe and Indian country in general, and those actions of the legislature and some of our federal officials. I have learned over the years that it's best to save those remarks for more private circumstances than to say them in public. And even though in a number of times I felt like they needed said, but this has been a difficult year in our relationship with the governor of the state of Oklahoma. He, of course, tried to eliminate the gaming licenses of all of the tribes in the state. He, for some bizarre reason, he took away over 300,000 fishing licenses from the Indian tribes in the state. I can't imagine what he would have gained by that. And he also has denied the Sac and Fox Nation and will deny the rest of the tribes in his terms of office the ability to purchase and sell cigarettes. So things are not going well with this governor, but we continue to press on, and the tribes, I think, are doing as well right now as they have done in quite a long time. As Brian Kane was talking about First National Bank earlier, I was thinking of the early years of that double-wide trailer on a gravel parking lot. And I know I've told many of you, probably hear when I've told this story before, but back in the bingo hall days, after we took over the bingo hall, after the members of organized crime had it for 3 years and stole about $3 million from us, when we finally were able to get it back through the actions of the appeals court, the federal appeals court, the 10th Circuit in Denver, Colorado. Once we took it back, well, then the governor of the state of Oklahoma, Governor David Walters, made us the first tribe in the state to have what were then Class II slot machines. And they were an old-fashioned kind of machine that took coin. And the bank had a one-lane drive-by lane in the back of the wooden building. And right in the area where the window was for the drive-by teller, there was a night depository. And we had, at one time, we had as many as 200 of these machines in our bingo hall. And when they were filled with coin, it was around 250 to 300 pounds of coins. And so about 2 o'clock in the morning, our tribal policeman went up to put the money in the night depository and dropped 250 pounds or so of coins in the night depository. And whoever had installed it when it was a trailer had not done a really good job other than 4 screws in some plywood and a real poor caulking job of mounting the night depository. So when he put the coins in and slammed the lid shut, it fell through the wall and through the floor, the 3/4-inch plywood floor of the bank, down into the crawl space below it, in the place where the drive-by teller stood. And it fell face down on the door that it took to unload it. So without being able to pick it up, we couldn't unload it so we could lift it out of the hole. And so I helped crawl underneath the thing with several other people. And we had got several car jacks, and we jacked it up and were able to get the door open and get enough of the coin out that we could push it back up through the hole. And I remember the tone of voice of the policeman that night. He called me about 2 a.m. I live about 3 blocks from the bank. And he said, you might want to come over here. And I said, what for? He said, there's a hole in the bank. And I said, how big a hole is in the bank? And he said, you can walk through it. And I said, well, best not leave. Why don't you stay there? And I scouted up a piece of plywood and went over there with some screws, and we covered the hole up. But that was what brought about the decision to build the new bank that we built within the next couple of years. And that was a very difficult period of time. We bought the bank cheap because it was in trouble. And after the first couple of years that we owned it, it stayed in trouble. As much trouble as you can get in for a bank and still have it open. And we had a bunch of bad loans of people that didn't want to pay us. And we were so short-handed at the bank that the members of the executive body of the tribe were involved in collecting loans. And Mrs. Capps is a wonderful collector, by the way. She would call people up on the phone and cry. And so they would come and pay us because they felt bad. I've thought about what a wonderful tactic that was. I had the good fortune to ride along with our car repo guy, One Punch Willie Hashaw. And One Punch Willie was aptly named because you didn't want to mess with him while he was repossessing cars. But he could drive into someone's driveway in reverse at about 45 and slam on the brakes and hook onto it and drive off with it in less than 30 seconds. He was just amazing. And so I rode along with him if there was another item to be picked up where you had to deal with the person in the house. And so we had a Harley Davidson motorcycle and a car, and One Punch Willie runs in and grabs the car, and he's gone, and he lets me out to go up and knock on the fella's door and see about the motorcycle, which was sitting on the front porch. And he said, you can have the motorcycle. It hasn't run in a couple of years. Just get it off my porch as soon as you can. So it took a while for us to figure out how to get it off the porch. But those days of trying to bring the bank back to health, an awful lot of people put an awful lot of work into that. And we're extremely grateful for, in particular, the incredible job that Brian Kane has done since he's taken over as president of the bank. We have more than doubled in size, and we'll have tripled in size. And the accomplishment to become $1 billion asset bank, which we will probably have done by the end of the year, is a phenomenal accomplishment, particularly starting at 300,000 or so, and to make that growth in less than 5 years is, especially in the financial environment that we've been operating in. You know, at one point, federal securities some of them were paying nothing. There were some banks where you had to pay the federal government to take your money. It was actually a negative gain on some securities. And so we've had the good fortune to have been able to manage our way through that. And you'll soon see some new products that all of you will be able to avail yourselves of wherever you live, especially internet banking and different kinds of loans we have through our Community Development Corporation. I believe Bob's here. Yeah, Bob Carruthers is here. And Bob is the chief loan officer, or I'm not, forgive me if I get your title wrong, Bob, but he's the man that loans the money at the Community Development Financial Institution, which is our institution that takes a little higher risk loans, and they can take a piece of a loan that First National has and allow the First National to have a first mortgage on all of the collateral, and they'll take a second position in order to facilitate a loan, business loan or a home loan or any kind of loan that you might need. And so we're much, much more able to serve our people who may have some higher financial risk. And that business has grown from our initial $250,000 in capitalization to $75 million in lending assets. So our ability to deliver financial services to our tribal community has grown tremendously. What we're trying to do and what we intended to do when we started is we're your ace in the hole. If things get tough, we're your family. We're someone to turn to. And if you need help financially, we want to be a part of that. And I would be very, very grateful for your business. So many people bank internet banking now, and so it doesn't really matter if you're in California, if your bank is in Oklahoma. It's just as fast over the internet as it would be if you were banking in your hometown. So we would really appreciate your considering giving the tribe your business. And if you have a business opportunity, we'd like to help you grow that. I have some pictures. I'm not, I believe those are those were the names of our PLP students. Out at the casino, at the Grand Casino, because of the COVID crisis, we decided not to do a buffet anymore. You know, buffets are a thing of the past. You can no longer go along and breathe on the food and then ladle some in because of the previous person having breathed on the food. So we've turned the buffet into a food court, and it is a beautiful thing to see. And it opened today, I believe. So for those of you who have the opportunity to go out to the Grand and try out the new food court, we would really appreciate your business. And there are some machines out there that have interesting games on them. You might try those out too. But this is, again, is the food court. It has a wonderful visual above it. This is the new area. Whoops, can you go back? Let me have a little more time on that picture. This is the hallway between the old gaming area on the south end of the casino and the big non-smoking area of gaming on the north side of the casino. And we remodeled the old performance venue into a smaller performance venue and breakout area for conventions. And along this hallway, they'll soon have a number of table games, and there will be a sidewalk cafe sort of effect. That furniture that's in there now is just temporary, but there will be a sidewalk cafe that opens into the sports grill. And it will be a really pleasant place to go to and act as a way of conducting our customers into the entire casino to open it up. Please change the picture. This is another view. This is the inside of the new performance venue. It's a little more intimate room. We have a program called Play It Loud, which is local artists come in and entertain for the evening. And we broadcast them over our radio stations. And They play for either private party or for the customers there in the casino. But this is the old large performance room changed around substantially. Next picture. Our basketball team, and we, I believe, didn't we get the most valuable player MVP in the district with Munson? Right. What's Munson's first name? Deshaun Munson, our point guard, was named for this district of the basketball league, was named most valuable player, and he's an amazing basketball player. So we're very proud of his work. That's him in the picture there. Next picture. Again, that's the Potawatomi Fire. We are building a craft brewery. We'll be brewing 6 different kinds of our own brand of beer, and that is about to open within the next 6 weeks or less. And as we are able to get employees, and if any of you know anything about brewing beer and are looking for a really good job, we would really like to have you work here. We are having a crisis of employees, as are many people around the country. We're almost 200 people short of what our normal employment level is, and we have raised our minimum wage to $15. It looks as if we're going to have to raise it to $18. We are not getting a response from that $15 minimum wage offer, but we have a number of wonderful jobs open and great opportunities and good medical benefits and a really good savings plan. And we really would like to have more of our membership of the tribe employed here at the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. So if any of you are considering a move to a pleasant, balmy climate and a place where all your kinfolks are from, and a great place to work. We have a huge number of employees here that have been here more than 10 years, quite a number that have been here more than 20 years. It's a good place to work and a great working environment with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of loyalty to the organization. Next picture, please. Yes.
We are looking for Jim Brenner. Is Jim Brenner in the room? Or does anyone know where Jim is? The ambulance is there.
Jim Branner. Okay. The Balloon Fest has grown so large and so popular that we are going to be moving it to the area north of the geothermal pond that is west of the baseball fields. We're moving it from over in the where the RV area is because of a larger number of balloons. So the Balloon Fest this year will be relocated. See the big pond in the background of that picture? We'll be on the north side of it for the Balloon Fest this year. But the Balloon Fest has been a tremendous success because of the efforts of all of the folks that have had a hand in it. And we really, really appreciate their hard work. And this is becoming a very popular. How many people attended the last Balloon Fest, Danette? We had between 35 and 45,000 people come to the last Balloon Fest. So it's really a big event for us here. And we hope all of you, any of you who have an opportunity to come to it, will come and enjoy yourself. There's music and different kinds of entertainment, beverages, food, and it's really a pleasant time. Next picture, please. I'm sorry? Yes, it needed to move, didn't it? The generator that supplies the backup generation for the buildings that are supplied by our ground source heat pump geothermal system. We are one of the most innovative tribes in the United States in the use of ground source heat pump geothermal heating and cooling. This building is cooled by condensers that are heat exchangers that are in the big pond. And it cools this building and the bowling center and the gun room across the street and the grocery store and the small casino here. So what we have, if something happens to the electricity to our system, we have a backup generator, and it was struck by lightning, and the insurance company has allowed us to acquire a larger generator. I believe it's a 3 megawatt generator, and we will be adding to our backup generation out at the Grand as well. But this is the installation of our new 3 megawatt generator. We have taken on supplying our own electricity. We built a substation that comes off of the, well, it's an OG&E public carrier, but the tribe has become essentially its own electric company and working with the Grand River Dam Authority as our wholesale source. Next picture, please. That's the generator again. These are the lots for the new housing addition over off of Highway 177. We are building a whole new group of houses of low cost, low rent housing. And for those of you who had a need or want an opportunity to live there, please apply to the Housing Authority. But this is the dirt work and streets for the new housing project. There's the old one back there. It's a very unique system of heating and air conditioning for that housing authority. It is also a ground source heat pump geothermal cooling system. The elder housing over behind the clinic over here, those are about 1,100 square foot units, and the average cost of their total electric and the average electrical bill on those is $38 a month. So it's an extremely efficient system, and it cuts the cost of living down tremendously for the folks there. And all of these units will also be ground source heat pump geothermal. And these are done with a horizontal system where we go to the alleyway and back of a backyard, and we bore down below everything into the depth below 15 feet where the constant temperature is 55 degrees. And we horizontally bore under the backyard, under the house, under the street, under the front yard, under the other house, and under the backyard, and come up in that back alley behind that house and skip down 50 feet and bore it again. And so the entire neighborhood into one large heat sink that all of the air conditioning systems operate from. And so that keeps us from having to pay the cost of a horizontal loop of ground source heat pump that is filled with grout. When you drill them horizontal instead of vertical, you don't have to fill them with grout because they just cave in slowly and they grout themselves. So that's the way this one will be done. The next picture, please. This is our new high-density polyurethane pipe, HDPE, pipe plant that we'll be manufacturing pipe for. The plant will be installing its first extruders for pipe up to 24-inch in diameter next month. That equipment is on its way here now. We will have 6 extruders where we can manufacture pipe up to 48 inches in diameter, all the way down to 1.5 inches. We have pre-sold, correct me if I'm wrong here, Bob, how many million pounds have we pre-sold? 35 million pounds of pipe we've pre-sold before we ever have installed our equipment. So it's going to be a successful business. We're certain of it just from the pre-sales that we've already had. And we are acquiring a good relationship with one of our competitors. We're acquiring their equipment, and they're taking on a sales effort on our behalf in return for our using their fittings. Next picture, please. This is the back of the HDPE plant. It's called Sovereign Pipe Company, SPE. Sovereign Pipe, and these are the hoppers that the plastic pellets come into that are melted and then extruded into the pipe from the railroad cars, from the railroad that we have a railroad now, a Class 3 railroad called CPN Railroad, Citizen Potawatomi Nation Railroad, and it is a registered Class 3 railroad, and we have our own locomotive, and although it's not a very long railroad, it will be someday. So, next picture, please. This is the inside of the plastic plant without the equipment. Next picture, please. The front of the plastic plant. Next picture. This is an agreement between this is Mayor Ed Bolt to my right in that picture. As you know, the city of Shawnee and the tribe had an ongoing dispute and lawsuits and a pretty horrible time for a period of about 20 years. And this was the signing of a peace treaty between the city of Shawnee and the Potawatomi tribe. They finally figured out that since we were the largest employers by a factor of 5 in the community, and with a $600 million budget that contributed to the community, they were better off in dealing fairly with us. And so Mayor Bolt and the entirely new city commission, the city decided because of that dispute should change the entire city commission of the city. And we have become their close friends and allies, and we're working together on a number of projects, and we're very happy about being back in good relationship with the city. Thank you. Next picture, please. This is the new splash pad over at the dance grounds. Next picture, please. This is the new substation for our power company, and we will be providing electricity and expanding this substation to where all of the facilities of the tribe, not just the ones on the east side of the railroad, all of them will be hooked up to this substation in the immediate future. Next picture, please. Next picture. Our next picture, please. That's all the pictures. Is that all the pictures? Thank you. Well, that's some of the things that are going on here at the nation. We had a really terrible time with COVID, and tomorrow we will have. It's a very old Potawatomi tradition called Justin. What was the Potawatomi name of that ceremony of the empty plate? Jibakwe. The Jibakwe ceremony has been done for thousands of years in our tribe, where we remember and celebrate someone in our family who has passed on by setting a place for them at the table and leaving it empty and putting food there. And as we sit there to remember him and to talk about him or her and to remember that person and talk about them and to recall it's our version of Memorial Day, except it's a little closer in that we go through the motions of sharing a meal with that person. So we had 68 people who were passed away due to COVID during the COVID pandemic. And we will be setting 68 places for those folks tomorrow. And that will be a remembrance of those folks that passed due to COVID. And for those of you who had someone in your family that was lost to the COVID pandemic, please let us know. And Ms. Capps?
That is this evening. That is after this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, that celebration is not tomorrow. That's this evening when we eat. So we'll be setting that up this evening. I'm apologize for that, getting that wrong. Is there any other business before the, yes, sir, the financial report from the Secretary Treasurer Trousdale? We weren't trying to get out of it. I just didn't remember it. So this is a good one.
We don't miss the good ones. The chairman didn't forget. He likes to save me towards the end to give the financial report because of the sheer excitement it brings. I do ask permission of the elders in the room to present this report. And it is a good one. We'll say, you know, the pandemic affected the nation. Anytime you have an organization as large as the Potawatomi Nation and the many enterprises and governmental activities it has, we're at tremendous risk. And that risk was magnified when your single biggest revenue generator in gaming and entertainment was shuttered for a few months. So we have a lot of money going out and not much money coming in. But oftentimes, adversity gives us the opportunity for the cream to rise to the top. And our employees and staff did a tremendous job during COVID when there was so much uncertainty. I'm happy to report that we came out of the lockdown and our businesses not only caught up with where they were in their past performance, but actually surpassed those numbers in many ways. So certainly a credit to our staff and employees. So let me explain some of the accounting and the audits, because it is very important that you know that our books are independently audited. First, the trust fund, RADW, CPN Advisors was engaged to perform an audit of the financial statements of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Trust Fund investments for the year ended September 30th, 2021. The audit of the trust fund was performed in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America. Those standards require that they plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements were free of material misstatement. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the trust funds as of September 30th, 2021. The original amount transferred from the BIA to the nation in 1996 was $5,495,465. The net assets as of September 30th, 2021 was $20,338,041. This represents an increase of $680,000 for the audited year. The trust fund is held in four basic categories. First, $4,125,000 in cash and cash equivalents, $2,418,000 in various fund accounts, $2,749,000 in U.S. Treasury and agency securities, $11,044,000 in First National Bank common stock. Next is First National Bank. Hogan Taylor was engaged to perform the audit of the financial statements of First National Bank and Trust Company as of December 31st, 2021. The audit was conducted in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America. Those standards require that they plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free of material misstatement. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of First National Bank and Trust Company as of December 31st, 2021. As our CEO, Brian Kane, spoke earlier to the numbers, we had a historic year. We've had enjoyed Brian's association with the bank for going on his third year. And it has just been a very nice pleasure to work with his team day in and day out at the bank. They have a vision, they have goals. And let me say, Brian is as proud to be associated with the Citizen Potawatomi Nation as we are to be associated with him. Let's speak to the Community Development Corporation. RADW and advisors were engaged to perform an audit of the Citizen Potawatomi Community Development Corporation as of September 30th, 2021. The audit was conducted in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America. Those standards require that they plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance whether the financial statements are free of material misstatement. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the Citizen Potawatomi Community Development Corporation as of September 30th, 2021. The CPCDC continues to build upon its strong net asset position, with net assets growing by 13.2% to $32,415,000 as of September 30th, 2021. Now speaking to the Citizen Potawatomi Nation 2021 Annual Report. The nation has prepared a comprehensive annual financial report for the year ended September 30th, 2021. RADW, CPAs, and advisors' responsibility was to audit the financial statements of the nation, including all of the required disclosures. They audited the accompanying financial statement as described in the report of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation as of and for the year ended September 30th, 2021. Certain funds and financial statements were audited by other auditors whose reports were furnished to RADW, and their opinion is based on the report of these other auditors. The audit was performed in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America and government auditing standards issued by the Comptroller General of the United States. Based upon the results of RADW's audit and the reports of other auditors, RADW attests that the financial statements are a fair representation of the nation as of and for the year ended September 30th, 2021. The nation was once again awarded for the 33rd year in a row their Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada. The nation's combined net assets were $366.4 million as of September 30th, 2021, or a positive change of $45.8 million. That represents a 14.3% increase. During the year, the nation's expenses for governmental activities was $174.4 million and were funded by program revenues of $179.9 million and further funded with other general revenues that totaled nearly $4.4 million. In the nation's business type activities such as entertainment and groceries, program revenues exceeded expenses by $35.9 million. The nation's governmental funds reported total ending fund balances of $50.8 million this year. The proprietary funds reported a combined net position of $139.7 million as compared to $133.7 million at the beginning of the year, for an increase of $6 million. Total liabilities of the nation were $361 million. Governmental total liabilities were $321.4 million. Business total liabilities were $39.6 million. As of September 30th, 2021, the nation had $26.3 million of debt. This represents a reduction of 46%. And that is, I believe, an all-time low of debt for the nation since I took office. And as we think about our businesses, we are very conservative in nature, but we have a lot of mouths to feed. And that's why you're hearing about bank expansion and plastic pipe companies. We have, in the last 30 months, our enrollment has gone up considerably. And, a lot of times those represent scholarships, health aids, mortgage refinancing costs, all the things that the nation provides to its membership. So we have a responsibility to increase our revenues and thus our profitability. For the fiscal year 2021, actual expenses were $101 million less than budgeted amounts. The council should be proud of its nation's position financially and in the local economy. I'd like to thank the legislature for their concern and prudent decisions in financial matters of the tribe. I would also like to thank Mary Chisholm, our Chief Financial Officer, and her staff for all the hard work and time that they spent working with myself and for our nation. I'd also like to thank you, our General Counsel, for allowing me to be your Secretary Treasurer for now my 20th year.
The Balloon Festival relocation will be in 2023, not 2022. So this year's festival in August will be in the old location, and then in 2023 it will be in the new location. And we will in that area have some additional amenities to accommodate the crowd. The crowd has, you can imagine, with 35,000 people, what it's like on the roads and the demand on the bathrooms and different kinds of facilities. So we will be accommodating those in 2023. I'd also like to thank you for the privilege of being your tribal chairman. I'm currently serving my 10th term as tribal chairman, and it has been the privilege of my life to be the chairman of the tribe, and I'm very grateful. And I thank all of you for your support. Is there any other business before the council? Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Yes, we do have. Oh, my goodness, yes. The heat's working on me. We have traditionally at our meetings for more than 3 decades, we have addressed the oldest and wisest member of our nation. The Potawatomis believe that with age comes wisdom, and we recognize our wisest member. We also recognize the future of the tribe in recognizing our youngest enrolled tribal member in the room in the future. And we also like to recognize that person who made the sacrifice to be here, who traveled the longest distance to be here for the meeting. I know we have some folks here from California, and we have some from other places, so we'll get out our maps and do some quick calculations here. But first of all, I'd like to recognize our oldest tribal member. Do we have anyone here who is over 90 years of age? Let's see, Lyman, you just turned 9 on the 5th of June, I believe. Is that correct? You're 90? 95 for Mr. Anderson. And he is also, Mr. John Anderson, he also is a veteran. World War II. And we really are proud of Mr. Anderson and his family have been a real asset, served on our bank board, and been, he and his sons have been tremendous assets to the tribe and to the success of our businesses.
While he's presenting that to John, I just might say that if you happen to read my article, and I don't think very many people do, there was an article about a lady that took over the leadership of the commander of the Navy at Tinker Air Force Base. And that just happens to be John's great-granddaughter, and her father is here today, Craig Anderson. So if you happen to look at that in the Honeycomb, that's my article, but we're going to have a special article come out about Brooke coming up either this fall or maybe in two different articles or 2 different months. We'll have it coming up soon, maybe August, September. But that's quite a feat for us to have a Potawatomi. Our own Potawatomi is commander of the Navy at Tinker Air Force Base. And it's really something. And Brooke has 3 children, and is she 44 or 42? "42, what a feat that is." And we just happened to go to that event when she was made commander, when she took that leadership over, and boy, was that an event to remember. So we're happy to have you here, Craig.
Craig, my grandson, just completed basic training and got assigned to his ship. And so if get him transferred to Tinker Air Force Base, he'll have a Potawatomi friend. So is there anyone here who is an enrolled tribal member who is less than 1 year old? Ah, there we go. How old is your baby? 2 months? And how old is your baby? What's the birthday of your child? Where's the other blanket? Okay. Justin, we're going to present 2 blankets this year, and we'll get your baby's blanket here at another meeting. So. Tell me his name.
Timo.
Last name?
Schulte.
This is Mr. Timo Schulte, and he is 2 months and 3 days old. And he's a good-looking boy. Well, here's your blanket,
Thank
Timo.
you so much.
Thank you. There was a day when I was brave enough to hold babies, but I learned about that over many years of experience to not do that. Is Justin, is your baby here? We want to bring your baby up front? her name?
Merritt Andrew is his name.
Merritt?
Merritt Andrew.
Andrew. This is Mr. Merritt
Andrew.
Andrew Neely. He's a good-looking boy.
Thank you, my gosh. Oh, don't be sad.
Also, every year, we try to recognize that person who has traveled the longest distance to be here. We normally give a travel bag, a Pendleton travel bag, that is to be filled with money at the casino so you can haul it back. So is there anyone here who has been from further away than Los Angeles, California? No one from further away than Los Angeles? Justice Riley? Whoop. No. How far? Anaheim. Anaheim is further than Los Angeles? Someone who knows geography is going to have to help me out. I hear murmur. Is Anaheim further away than Los Angeles? You're Googling it. Good. How are we doing on Google? Long Island? Okay, Long Island is further away than Los Angeles or Anaheim. Yes, how many? I have some yeses over here. Long Island. All right. Who's here from Long Island? Long Island, New York. Well, here you are, sir. This is Mr. James Anderson. Mr. Anderson, thank you for being here and for traveling such a long distance. And here's your money bag, and we really appreciate it. And good luck. And good luck. Thank you. Now, is there any other business before the council? Chair would entertain a motion. Whoops, see a hand back there. Yes, sir. $3,036. Yes, sir. I'll repeat the question. He was asking if Potawatomi, if there was an amendment to the Constitution to make Potawatomi the official language of the tribe. That is, we were determined by the legislature that it is not necessary. The Potawatomi language is our language of our heritage, and we conduct the business of the tribe in English because we do not have command of the language of sufficient competency to conduct all of our business and our business with those folks with which we have to do business outside the tribe in doing that. Potawatomi language is inherently a part of our culture, and it is, we all know, a gift from the Creator, and it is a gift to all of us that as each of us tries our best to learn it and to utilize it, we will make that. But the idea of making it an official language, and then that in turn will generate a whole move to reprint everything in Potawatomi, and on and on and on, and spending beyond belief. And no, we won't be doing that. Thank you. I'm sorry, but you're not correct in that. We have a extremely vital and vivid and constantly growing effort in learning Potawatomi. We have regular classes. We have online events. We have one of the most, I think, thorough online language learning facilities in the country. And we are far from losing our language. We are gaining it back, and we are gaining speakers almost every day. So I do appreciate your opinion, but I don't agree with it. We're doing a great job in recovering our language. We are involved in language studies with the other 9 Potawatomi nations in Canada and the United States. We regularly exchange information with them, and we are involved in that language effort. But the whole business of making it a constitutional amendment carries a certain level of mandate that I think is something that is the business of the tribe. I appreciate your interest, and I appreciate the heartfelt emotion that you feel about the language, and I feel the same way. But as a constitutional amendment and making it an official language in which we have to do our business in Potawatomi, that's just not going to happen for a very long time until we have enough speakers to do that. And in fact, we never will be able to conduct all of our business in Potawatomi simply because we do business with the outside world. And, this is 2022. It's not 1722. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your opinion. Is there any other business before the council? Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? It is approved, and we'll see you at dinner and at the dancing tonight. Thank you.